Thank you so much for asking that. You know, not a lot of people actually ask and they just jump all over me without really learning about what I stand for. So I really do appreciate the question. Now, there's a lot of layers to it, so I'm going to try to explain as much as I can and hopefully not take up the full 3 minutes and bore you to death. So for me, I'm more concerned about the horse in front of me and training them in the kindest way possible. And I prefer positive reinforcement. That is my go-to, that is my preference, but overall it is reinforcement based. So whether that's positive or negative reinforcement, I prefer to reinforce. Now, negative reinforcement isn't a bad thing. I know sometimes people get confused and they think that corrections are negative reinforcement, but they're not. Negative reinforcement is the technical term for pressure and release. And, you know, there's a lot of use for pressure and release when we're working with horses. And so whether from my previous days or from their previous owners, all of my horses have a strong foundation in pressure and release. And there's some things they do really beautifully, completely stress-free, so there's like no need to change it. But if something causes them stress, then I want to switch it over to positive reinforcement. And for new things, since we're learning something new, my default now is to go to positive reinforcement. But when it comes to punishment or corrections, that's where it's a little different. So I really prefer not to punish, but I do think that sometimes if we can catch behaviors in the act, we can intercept, we can block, we can redirect, and I will do everything I can in my power to not hit an animal. I mean, I would literally have to be backed into a corner and about to die, and it's my only way out if I'm going to hit them. Generally, if somebody is smacking to prevent a bite or prevent a kick, then the key is there was time to prevent it. So I try to figure out what things I could do instead to prevent it, whether that's moving out of the way, whether that's blocking it, and then looking at, okay, well, where's the training that we have to work on here to prevent this from happening again? And the thing is, from my perspective, if it's after the fact and if I haven't been able to prevent the behavior, smacking them or doing something doesn't actually undo it, and it just doesn't teach them what I want instead. So I really try again to break down, like, where did I not see this coming and how did this happen? With that being said, I absolutely don't tolerate dangerous behavior. I guess I have different ways of correcting my horses, whether it's a sharp tone of voice or I completely don't engage with them, or like I said, block the behavior before it can, you know, do some damage, and then really, really encourage the right behavior. I guess the foundation of everything I do really comes down to the word help. I'm always asking, how can I help this horse? How can I help this horse succeed? How can I help this horse achieve? How can I help this horse not be dangerous? How can I help this horse work through his struggles? How can I help this horse manage his emotions? And when I approach everything like that, it just affects my actions. So I hope that makes sense.